Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a story from Don Bosco. I'll pause it for a moment. All right. We're about to...
After all these pages, chapter 2. Don Bosco's life. How long this one is. Alright, so I'm going to do pages.
I'm ready for you, sir. Stories of Don Bosco. Don Bosco was a saint.
New Frontiers.
New Frontiers.
That's the chapter name. Pride before the fall.
Pride?
Yeah, before the fall.
That's from the Bible. Pride goes before the fall. So if you're very proud, what's going to happen? The chair will break and I'll fall and then everybody laughs. Well, some people don't laugh.
Alright. So Don Bosco, as people now called him, was ordained. He was invited to preach at a distant parish.
How old was he now? He was 22.
When he started being called
He started being called Don Bosco at age 22, and that usually happens when you're 50.
Yeah, or you're dead.
Don Max.
He was distance. To get there, he had to choose between hiring a carriage or riding a horse. He chose the horse, for ever since his student days, he had considered himself a good horseman. He himself tells the story of what happened along the way. I had already covered half the distance at a fast clip when suddenly a flock of sparrows swished up in front of me. My horse took fright and dashed off across the field, taking hedges and ditches in its stride. To my horror, the saddle kept slipping until finally the belly band broke. The saddle fell off, and I was thrown on a pile of stones, landing on my head.
Ouch.
I lay there for some time, unconscious and unable to move. Fortunately for me, someone had seen the fall. From a nearby farmhouse, a man ran out and with the help of friends brought me to a house and laid me on a couch. "Where am I?" I asked when I came to. "You're among friends," the man reassured. "The doctor will be here soon. Do not worry." "I don't think there's much wrong with me," I said. "At most, I may have broken a collarbone, for I can't move my arm. But tell me, where am I?" "I don't think there's much wrong with me." "He broke his collarbone."
Ouch.
"You're in the Brina farmhouse," answered the man. "So take it easy. I've been around and more than once have needed a little help myself. You've no idea of the things that can happen to a man going to the fairs. While we're waiting for the doctor," I suggested, "why don't you tell me about some of them?" I remembered one autumn I went to buy stores for the winter. He began. "On the way back, I was coming over hilly country, when my poor beast fell into a ditch. I tried to drag him out, but he was in too deep, and it was useless. Midnight came, and a bitter wind blew across the hills. Worse still, it began to rain. I was desperate, for I couldn't see how I was going to get out such a mess. The only thing left was to say a prayer and call for help. Although I had very little hope of anyone coming to that deserted spot in the middle of the night, I started to shout for help. Imagine how I felt when I saw several lights bouncing up and down in the darkness. Someone had heard my call for help. In a very short time, they had unloaded the beast, dragged it out of the ditch, and brought both of us to their house. I was half dead and splattered with mud, but these people helped me clean me up, gave me a hot meal, and to top it off, made me sleep in the best bed in the house. The next morning, I thanked them and asked them how I could repay them for their kindness. "The best way to repay us," said one of them, who told me he was in the seminary, "is to help the next man you meet who needs it. Maybe one day even we ourselves might want some help from you." When I heard the story, I was so moved that the man noticed it. "Are you all right?" he asked. No, I assured him. "It's not my wounds that are affecting me. It's the story you just told me. Do you, by any chance, remember the name of the family?" "Bosco, I think," he said. "Bosco it is! And if that seminarian is still alive, I'll bet he's a good priest today." Again, I could hardly control my feelings. "My friend," I told him, before he could become upset. The seminarian who helped you then is the priest you're helping now. The man could scarcely believe his ears, but I had no trouble proving to him that I was indeed that person. When the rest of the family heard the story, they were all deeply moved. It was an excellent lesson to everyone in Christian charity. In the midst of all this, the doctor arrived. He pronounced me whole, although he advised me not to move for a day or two. A few days later, when it was time to go, I felt as if I were leaving my own relatives. Besides the lesson in charity, the accidents taught me a still more important lesson. It taught me that when I went out to preach, I should put aside my own ambition and have at heart only one aim, the glory of God and the salvation of souls.
What is his mission?
To help others. Save other souls.
As he was lying on the couch, what did he say? I will wait upon the doctor, but I will listen to your stories now. He can't move his arm, right? And he says, oh, never mind my arm. Let me listen to your story. So what does this teach us? What did you learn from the story?
I learned that Don Bosco was really not able to get, feel pain.
He had some control over pain, didn't he?
Mind over body.
Mind over body. That's one. What else?
Mind over the flesh.
Mind over the flesh. What else, son? Well, what about riding horses?
Oh, he knew how to ride a horse.
Yes, but even though he was an expert, he got hurt.
No, but it was because of the birds.
Can you imagine that? A
Birds
simple flock of birds scared the horse.
Don't do that. Just like, do this.
So before you leave, did you like the story? What did you like about it?
Probably the part where he told the man that he was
Seminarian?
Yeah.
This, young man from the seminary. What is the seminary?
Sort of like a church.
I think it's more like a school to become a what? Yes. I think that's what it is. Well, thank you for listening to the story. Would you like to read one? Next time? All right. So tomorrow he reads one. And you have the day off, son. As far as for reading a story about Don Bosco. God bless you and those that surround you. Go do a good deed. Go read with somebody.